What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Kofi Kingston, a.k.a. 1/3 of the New Day. You're not going to say it with me, sir? Yeah, come on, you better participate. Let's try it again. 1/3 of the New Day, and you are watching The Young and the Wrestlers. Ha 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 ha.
Welcome to The Young and the Wrestlers, the Pop Culture's WWE podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Betson, and I am back alongside...
There's nobody meaner than Jamina.
Ha!
I'm Jem!
It's Jem! She's back!
Hi!
This week, this is our WWE Super Show Extravaganza, and it comes at you on a Thursday morning at 8 a.m. on your podcast services, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join that wrestling conversation, head over to Facebook, Twitter, Discord, Instagram. All those links are in the description below. If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopculturist and watch us record this show live. It's in front of people. There's a chat, and we talk to the chat, and we have a good time, and the chat's absolutely amazing. Like Traceface, I don't know who that is, but they say hi, Jem, so they know who you are, and that's awesome.
Hi!
You know, it's a good time to be here. It's a great time to be
exciting.
here. And one thing we'd like you to do, if you'd be so kind, would be to share the conversation. Tell your friends, tell your family about this little wrestling podcast. I understand it's tough times right now, but if you do want to support the show, you can patreon.com/thepopculturist, as well as our merchandise store, popculturist.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. Damn, Jem, it's good to see your face.
Hi, thank you. It's so good to see you too.
Yeah, it's been awesome. So big thank you to Josh Robinson, who is in the chat tonight, for donating his time last week. It was an absolute blast to have him on here. He was
So much
fucking
fun to
fantastic. He was awesome. It was fantastic. But it's so good to have you back, man. How have you been? You had your rest week?
I did, yeah. I'm feeling, I don't know, I'm still in a weird space, so I'm getting there, but I'm definitely on the up. Which is a good sign. I whole shebang tonight, so I decided to hair, makeup, all of it, just to feel extra better.
And you know what? We all noticed. Everyone in the chat when they came in, they noticed, because they're like, "Damn, Jem, looking good." You know, it's like what's that expression? Distance makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
And everyone in the chat was like, "Oh, I'm so happy to see Jem back."
Yeah.
You know, and
as
like,
you can see, my setup's a little bit different as well. I've sort of shifted things around. So, yeah, they say change is as good as a holiday. So here we are.
That's very, very true.
How are you?
I'm well. Oh, sorry, let's go a quick hello to Noob and Co in the chat, who's just jumped in as well. Lots of awesome names coming up in that chat today. But I'm good, man. I've been doing well. Like, work's been a little rough this week, but that's just, you know, still adapting to this whole current situation. Get less fat update. I'm now 12.5 kilos down.
Double digit.
So that is, as of right now, I weigh less than what I did when I moved to Geelong 7 years ago.
Woohoo.
So I weigh
exciting.
as much as 23-year-old Ryan.
That's exciting.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, you know, as an example, this shirt was tightish at one point. Now it's fucking hanging off me. It's
I love it.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Nathan in the chat jumps in and goes, "Jem is legit my dream girl."
Oh.
Well, then, and I've said this to Jem before. You know, man, like if I was single,
Stop.
holy fuck, would I be way too scared to talk to you? Not a fucking chance. It's not happening. Not happening. Nathan also adds and comments to Dad Body, says that glow up. Talking about yourself. He goes, it's like that scene in The Simpsons where Mr. Burns flies into Smithers' window.
Oh.
Nathan coming through with the biddy there. Thank you very much, my friend. But Jem,
you.
we're here to talk wrestling, man.
We are.
You know,
Double show.
Surprisingly, because we've been fucking assing around for like the start of this show and then like 20 minutes before that. So we're all in this like weird like energy to not do the regular show.
Yeah. I mean, when I had that power outage and I had to call in on my mobile to Discord, that was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. You made a great puppet.
I did.
And Jennifer Lopez was a great addition.
Jennifer Lopez, yeah. That was Gem Lexa Bliss as well.
Yes, I've got Gem Lexa Bliss.
Yeah. No, that was a lot of fun. Seeing the photos afterwards and watching it back was the funniest thing.
Yeah, no, shout out to Craig from the Miles Show for clipping that for us. It was great. But so this week for this show specifically, this is we're calling it our Super Show Extravaganza. The reason being, with both Gem and I sort of not able to do our SmackDown in review earlier this week. We had to smush them together into one big fuck off show, just like we used to. Because back in the day, we used to do the one show.
Yeah,
and it's been a long time. So we'll do our very best to make it as detailed as we do, but also as short as possible because it's a lot of wrestling to talk about.
It is, especially with Raw being the go-home show for the pay-per-view.
That's right, for Money in the Bank, because if you weren't unsure, they told you enough fucking times in Raw this week about
like 700 times.
Yeah, like it's corporate ladder is the most unique ladder match of whatever the fuck. Mm-hmm. But let's chat SmackDown, ladies and gentlemen. Let's kick things off with Daniel Bryan. He comes out and sort of opens the show, talks about Money in the Bank shit. Because how he himself has had it in the past and won it. He gets interrupted by King Corbin. He's coming like, because, Daniel calls him out from his beatdown of Drew Gulak the week before. Mm-hmm. So this is like, with them both being qualified for the Money in the Bank ladder match, it's kind of just them bussing each other, really. It's just kind of a little bit of a match.
Yeah.
But they also discuss that Apollo Crews is out due to injury, and then later on that night there would be Dolph versus Otis for that final contender. There's a lot in here.
One of the final contenders.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I believe they announced on Raw is going to be a gauntlet match for that final.
That's correct, which we know the outcome of now. But yeah, so that was the last spot on SmackDown. So.
SmackDown, yes.
That's correct. So they also mentioned the fact, which I love, is that Corbin is one of the only 4 people to ever win Money in the Bank and unsuccessfully cash it in.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan definitely pulls that one out. He's like, you think you're going to win this? He's like, what are you going to do? Squander the whole thing again like you did last time? He's like, 23 people have won Money in the Bank. Only 4 people have squashed their chance, and you are one of those 4.
Yeah, it's like an 87% chance that you'll win if you cash it in.
Yeah, because usually they cash it in at an opportune moment.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they have a match, and it's I enjoyed it. It was fine. I like Daniel Bryan, but King Corbin did get DQ'd here by just fucking throwing a ladder at Daniel Bryan's face.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro did come in and get involved as well once that DQ was hit. So that was that.
Yep. So we're clearly seeing a feud between Daniel Bryan and Baron Corbin specifically in that Money in the Bank match.
Yeah. So Off-Brand Lego, which is Nathan in the chat, goes, how do I host you on my channel? I think you type /host and then the name of our show if you want to. So Noob and Co is commenting on Raw, so we'll come back to that because we'll talk about that with Raw. But
yes,
do you think this feud is just an up to Money in the Bank feud, or do you see this kind of spilling out a little bit?
It depends entirely. It really depends entirely. I don't know. I think it's only just for Money in the Bank, but at the moment, because we are on such a limited, obviously limited with how many people can be around at a given time, I think that it will turn into something bigger.
All right.
Maybe it'll be the whole Baron Corbin goes to Drew Gulak and Daniel Bryan hey, I couldn't win this, but you can. How do I do this?
Oh, you think I could turn for Corbin?
Maybe. Probably not, but fantasy booking.
Interesting.
Maybe there's an ulterior motive in it that he,
Nathan, you don't do it in this chat. You do it in the chat on your channel. It's probably that's
Yeah,
how
so you go
get
to your
around.
channel
Yeah.
first. Yeah, so who knows if it could be like he pretends to get their help and then, uses that to get the title and absolutely completely squash them or what, who knows. But I think that could be cool.
I saw on Twitter this week someone speculating that they think that King Corbin will be the one to win the Ladder in the Bank. Ladder in the Bank, that's right. Money in the Bank ladder match. What? I don't want it to be true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the story. Unless he wins and cashes and fucking fucks up again, that would be fantastic. There it is. That's that noise. For those that can't hear it on the audio version, that is the noise we hear for when someone hosts the channel successfully. So Nathan got it sorted. Big thank you, sir. Big thank you very, very much. Next up, we get Braun Strowman. Current Universal Champion. He's backstage with Alexa Bliss. She gives him a new shirt of hers and Nikki Cross's. He uses it to wipe his face and gives it back to Alexa.
Gives it back before he comes to the ring. Hilarious. Because she did give him a size small, so let's be honest, it was like a tea towel for him.
That's true. It's not. It's not going to do much on that gentleman.
No, definitely not.
They talked about last week's trip down memory lane because last week they discussed a bit more around about the black sheep that Braun Strowman was during the Wyatt family with his upcoming match against Braun Strowman at Money in the Bank. I said because we didn't really touch upon it last week, Jem, because you weren't here. But how are you still going about this feud? Are you still sitting strong with it?
I'm happy with it. I still am. Braun is obviously the past is the past and that's where it needs to stay. And then the Firefly Funhouse does cut in. And Bray Wyatt starts telling a story about the black sheep, basically telling the story of what happened with Braun Strowman. And because I didn't see last week, I took a complete back step from it all. It still got me engaged. Because it's telling that story. So I went back and watched what happened. And then I was like, oh, it's sort of piecing things together a bit for me because I didn't catch any of the Wyatt family stuff. So it's piecing things together for me. So for me personally, I'm finding for somebody who hasn't seen it before, I'm finding it really good to be caught up on all of that and for them to bring that back into this. I think I'm still really excited for it.
Well, yeah, because as you and I have talked in the past about our love for them involving these greater storylines that were sort of before everything. We talked about with Kofi and we talked about with the whole Edge and Randy stuff and this long history, long story stuff is really amazing. Oh, excuse me. But in terms of heading into this, I'm still cool with it. My stance is still about the same. It hasn't changed. I want to see it. And now that we are actual days away, I'm very excited to see. The real story of the entire situation, says Dash in the chat, Braun got drafted to Raw and Bray got drafted to SmackDown in 2016.
Yes.
So if in terms of the specifics, I think the advantage is you and I who weren't there, we go, ooh, what would happen? What was the split? And if the split was as simple as someone got drafted somewhere else, the narrative that they're telling here doesn't quite line up. Yeah.
But in the same way, it doesn't really sort of matter to me.
Yeah, but
because the way Bray Wyatt explained it was that the black sheep left for greener pastures, which is basically saying they were split through across the brands. He's basically said it just in a different way. So
yeah, pretty much. So Bat Prince is here in the chat as well, and he mentioned he tried to watch a match with no audience yesterday and it didn't feel right. That is true. It still feels off, but at the same time, I'm adapting. I'm certainly adapting to no crowd. Which is fun.
Yeah.
Next up was so let's go on the list of the cards. This is literally the order it happened on the night. Sheamus, he was having a match against Leon Ruff. That isn't Leo Rush, by the way. This is a different.
Yeah, I got confused. I had to check. I was like, wait, who? And then apparently he was there a week or a couple of weeks back or something like that. And I was like, okay. Yeah. So it's not Leo Rush, it's Leon Ruff.
You think they would not have that name. But then again, look, Rush has been off TV for ages and he rocked up back at NXT.
Yeah, exactly it.
Excuse me. Man, I shouldn't have yawned that once. And then now I'm I'm going to yawn this whole show.
Triggered, yeah.
I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm going to yawn through this or not. Understandably, this guy just gets the shit kicked out of him by Sheamus. Sheamus gets up in the grill of Michael Cole once again.
The entire match, he's like staring at Michael Cole, like staring.
He's
through
just
his
fucking
soul
him
while
with
he's
his
beating
eyes.
This poor guy. Yeah, absolutely wild. And then does that saunter over to be like, "Hey, you going to talk about Jeff Hardy again?" And Cole's like, "Well, yeah, actually, we've got a return package for him," and they play it. And then Sheamus is like, "So he's going to be here next week, huh? Good. Me too." And walks away.
Okay, good, Sheamus. Cool.
It's nice to know that you show up for work.
Yeah,
Sheamus.
I'm glad to
Proud of
know
you.
that you're still employed.
Yep.
Woo.
Proud of you. Rub it into everybody else.
Yeah.
if you can.
All right. It's like, yeah. Woo. Okay. Cool. Well done.
Look, honestly, I'm excited for a Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy feud because it could be very interesting.
I'm not against it.
If they handle it properly, they could be very interesting. But the lead up to this is so subpar.
Well, yeah, the lead up has just been here's a 24, probably WWE Untold on Jeff Hardy. Here's it. God damn it!
Yeah, and Sheamus is just suddenly interested in taking that out on Michael Cole. Like it doesn't. It's not.
All right, I'm going to quickly blow my nose because I have a feeling it's the lack
Go
of
for it.
oxygen getting into my face. So, Jem, if you want to talk more about Jeff Hardy, if you want to gush about Jeff Hardy for 2 minutes, this is your time. Because I know you can. I know you love that Jeff Hardy.
But yeah, so it's definitely a tricky one. I don't know. Like I said, if it's handled properly, it could be good. But I have a funny feeling it's not going to be handled properly, which is concerning me. Especially with Jeff Hardy being back so fresh. But we'll see. Like, what do you guys think? I don't know. I'm really excited. And he's back. Woo.
Did you gush?
Did it. Yeah, just a little bit. I was just saying, like, I really don't know how this could go. I'm concerned about how it's going to be handled and if it'll be handled properly. And I'm hoping and praying that it is handled properly because obviously we saw what happened with Matt Hardy. So yeah.
Damn that yawn. But yeah, no, it's interesting. It's cool that they're giving him a bit of a rub. Because it's that gone for a while, come back. Because there is that question: could this be like his final run, WWE? Like he's not old, but he's kicked the shit out of his body.
Body's worn out.
Like he may be at that sort of final point, just to sort of end things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll skip this next part because it ties into the back end of the show. SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. The New Day versus the Forgotten Sons.
Who I'd forgotten about again.
Same. Their name seems incredibly accurate. Because I forgot they were a thing. But then in the end they turned up and they had a match against the New Day and they won in a non-title match.
They did they won a non-title match, which I can guarantee they're going to come running back like, we beat you, we deserve a title shot. All while Miz and Morrison were sitting at the desk like, Miz and Morrison, hey, and you deserve it.
They were
Look,
pretty.
I'll give them credit for trying to be the crowd.
Yeah, they were pretty good
That
on the
was good.
commentary, though. I give them that.
Oh, they are. I'll definitely give them that. But yeah, it's like I did the same as like I think it was Miz when I believe it was one of them getting the pin on Kofi, and Miz was like, "Ooh," and I was like, "Ooh, yeah." Like it's not faring well for the 8-time champs.
Because Champ in the chat brings up, I hate to bring it up, but there are plenty of wrestlers who win against champions in non-title matches. It's very common for it to happen, he notes. Yeah, 100%.
It is, because that's how storylines are created.
Yeah, and especially when you've got the likes of Forgotten Sons who have just come up from NXT. So they're like, "Ooh, they're here, everyone get excited." And then they lose. It's not going to happen. Like, it's got to, they have to come in and get that win.
Establishing win.
Yeah, it's one of those situations of, like, they have to win, otherwise what's the point? Because he also uses the Iconics.
And he can't have them against jobbers, yeah.
Yeah. They've also had the Iconics lost many titles while holding tag teams, while holding the tag titles, yes. So that's true.
Yeah,
they did
they
lose
lost
many
some
times.
losers.
But they're always dirty wins because they were dirty heels. That was the whole point. They were chicken shit heels.
Yeah.
That was their
That was great.
entire
I
setup.
love that. And I loved it about them.
I do. I really
yeah,
miss them.
You really can't set up a feud properly or set up like anyone properly without giving them that win. Like, I mean, John Cena is an exception to the rule because obviously he didn't get the win on Kurt Angle, but he really put himself out there against that.
Yeah, and because we'll talk about still going.
But now it's different.
Taking L's, but still looking good because we'll talk about Liv Morgan in Raw later in the show. But like you can still take an L and look awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially in like these particular times, because like it is one of those things. If you do come in and take on a champ, and you're like, well, you took on a champ and you went for X amount of minutes, you still lost, but you did more than anybody else. Like you didn't get like jobbed out, you didn't win. You know, take the L super fast. So
yeah, you can still look strong in defeat.
there are certainly ways. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Next up, Tamina. She has a title match against Bailey at Money in the Bank. She was having a backstage interview with Kayla Braxton about that opportunity. She was interrupted by Sasha Banks, but was like, let's be friends. She gets shut down, but then Bailey tries to come in, attack from behind. Dirty Bailey, you bitch.
Yeah, did you see Tamina catch her by the throat?
Oh, yeah. Tamina's like, I ain't got no fucking time for you.
Have you seen her little YouTube videos she's been doing lately?
No.
Tamina is hilarious. Oh my God, I have to send them to you. She is friggin' hilarious. She's so funny because she's playing the whole like, I need to go to therapy because apparently I'm too mean card. Like, which everybody's like, you know, she's so mean now. And her t-shirt says nobody meaner than Tamina.
Someone did this. Someone else did this recently.
But yeah, she's doing it like, so great.
I think Melbourne City Wrestling did kind of a similar story with Avery.
Maybe.
Yeah, they're like Avery had to go to therapy because she was just too brutal. And she went there and she went there and she was drinking and they're like, oh, I don't need this. See?
Well, I mean, they did it with Sonia and Mandy in a thing too as well. Like, but it is the way she's pulling it off is so funny. But ultimately, yeah, it ends up in a big brawl. They're all fighting, and then Lacey Evans comes in and she starts attacking as well. So it's like Tamina and Lacey versus Bailey and Sasha. And I'm actually really hyped to see where this is going to go.
Do you reckon I think has that match been announced ahead of Money in the Bank? Lacey,
yeah, I believe so.
Like a four-way tag, whatever.
Oh no, not that I'm aware of. All I know is it's supposed to be like Tamina versus Bailey.
Yeah, that's at the pay-per-view. But like, are they going to have like a? Because they always, we still got one more SmackDown before Money in the Bank. Maybe they'll lead in with like some sort of match.
I don't think anything was announced. Not that I saw anyway, so.
Let's jump into essentially the last part of the show because the show kind of ran through pretty quick this week, which was nice. It has been. Hey, there we go. Cool. Like I said, I watched that. I'm like, that's a match, and then sure enough, it's a match.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you go with this Otis and Mandy stuff, Jem, because I know you're a big fan.
Yeah, so it starts with Otis and Mandy backstage getting interviewed because they're both in qualifying matches tonight for
we didn't put
Money in the Bank.
Also, that's not in this list here.
Oh yeah, it is. It's up higher.
Where?
It's under the Otis and Mandy tag, and then there's
there it is. Yeah, we're good. My apologies.
Yeah. So they're interviewed by Kayla Braxton. They both talk about winning. And Mandy kisses Sonya and walks off. Mandy kisses Otis and walks off because she's got her match.
Also, I love Otis' response of, "Ooh, she kissed me!" Like they're clearly like the storyline is they're dating. He's like, "Ooh, smooches," which is sweet. He's
still so excited about it. I think it's the cutest that he's so like in love with her like that. So it is Carmelo versus Mandy Rose, which was so interesting to see Mandy Rose come out without Sonya Deville. It was kind of nice, to be honest, to see Mandy stand alone. But in saying that, it wasn't long before Sonya Deville does come down to the ring during the match. Well, she comes down to the stage and she starts taunting, screaming about like how she's always been in Mandy's shadows, and it was absolutely beautiful.
I absolutely love this because rather than getting involved and messing up the match, she's just like berating her from the stage. Like, granted, she gets in
mentally.
Once the thing happens, she gets down a bit later. But like initially, it's just at the end, like, hey, Mandy. Hey man, remember that one time that that I gave up my opportunity for you? Remember that? Huh?
Yeah,
Mandy, remember
she
that, Mandy?
talks about that. I literally handed you the briefcase and you lost.
Like she was seconds away from Mandy.
Mandy. We want a picture, not a belly itcher.
Yeah. So what? Mandy!
Yeah, it was like that. But yeah, obviously Mandy does get distracted. This gives Carmelo the win, putting her in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And then Sonya just loses her shit and she comes down and starts belting Mandy. You think you're better than me. You're never going to be better than me. Like, absolutely wailing on her, throws her into stairs and corners of ring posts and absolutely just brutalizes her. And then we do go backstage and Otis is walking into the first aid area where Mandy is checking on her and she's like, I'm fine, I promise. And he goes to get ready for his match and encounters Dolph Ziggler on the way out. And Dolph's like, so how's Mandy? And Otis just death stares him.
Yeah, but they get the mic right up in his face. All you get is...
Yeah.
Which has made me very uncomfortable. And I'm sure it made you very uncomfortable just seeing me doing it.
Yeah, I thought it was great because it just shows the disdain because Otis clearly knows that something else is still going on.
Yeah.
But he has no evidence, so he can't prove it. So it's very interesting.
So how are you taking, now we've seen a little bit more of this, how are you finding the Mandy Sonya setup?
I am loving it. This is how, like, Bobby Lashley and Lana should have gone. Like, the whole Rusev thing should have gone, and it didn't. This is perfect. I feel like there's a lot more going on than we're seeing, and I feel like it's something that could go on for a while.
Nathan's just discovered our balls emote. So if you're a subscriber on our Twitch channel, there's a little black and purple little balls picture. Yeah. It's good fun. But yeah, no, I really enjoy where this is going. It feels raw. It feels real. Like there's a lot.
It feels very
real. There's enough of it to be. You're like, okay, this is legit.
Yeah, and especially when you see, like, shortly after this, it goes backstage to Dolph and Sonya talking. And, like, Sonya's just like, yeah, I really hurt her. And Dolph's like, good work. Like, what's going to happen is, I know what happens in real life and this doesn't happen in real life. The only reason these people like Otis is because they can identify with him. That's not what happens in real life. This is like a fantasy. And he's like, I'm going to win the title. I'm going to win a match. I'm going to win the title. And then I'm going to win Mandy's heart, basically. He's like, once I hurt her, once you, like, finish hurting her, I'm just going to slide in and make sure she's okay.
We said this in the past and we'll say it again now. The two of them, Sonya and Dolph, are a great pairing. Like, they have that both kind of, like, shit-eating grins and, like, they got that, like, dastardly charm to them right now.
It was a really good little thing that they did there. They had that real, like, nasty, like, you get the Mean Girls type vibe.
Yeah.
You could really feel it.
Yeah, about to put him in Dolph Ziggler's burn book,
Yeah, exactly it. So yeah, it's definitely feeling like that. And I'm loving seeing more of Sonya Deville. Like, she's so passionate and she's so raw about things. And I don't know, I just see this going somewhere amazing. And I'm all for this and I want to see more. But that did lead us into our final, the main event of the night, which was Dolph Ziggler versus Otis for that final contendership spot at Money in the Bank. And surprisingly, I was not expecting this at all. Otis won.
Yes! How amazing is this?
He's going to be in the HQ Money on the Roof, climb the building ladder thing.
Dozering his way through that fucking building.
He's not going to go up the building. He's going to go through it.
That's right. He's just
going to compact the whole thing and get that
heavy machinery. Like he'll be the heavy machinery of this building. He will be the demolition crew. It's awesome. I'm so happy that he's part of it because it just seems so bizarre. How bizarre is it? And it
gives it a bit of a mix-up too. It makes it different because they did announce that both matches will be competed at the same time.
Yeah, so you would presume that Otis and Mandy may be distracted because with a ladder match there are no rules. It's in terms of disqualifications or whatever. The only thing is getting that briefcase. So, like, we may think that Otis and Mandy will try team up to get to the roof, but there's nothing stopping from Otis. So there's nothing stopping Dolph or Sonya from getting involved at HQ, and like it could possibly happen.
Yeah, exactly right. And one thing that did sort of, I thought was interesting as well is earlier in the night when Daniel Bryan was talking about the match, he's like, we don't know the rules yet. Like, am I allowed to just take the elevator to the roof? Like, is there really dinosaur bones in Mr. McMahon's office? Who knows? Like, I thought that was the coolest because, the rules around the match really haven't been disclosed yet. So it's all up in the air and everything's up in the air and it's going to be really interesting. And I am really, really excited.
Yeah, no, I am very keen for this pay-per-view. And it's one of those things I kind of forgot. It's just there's something about it. It's kind of bring me in. I'm like, ooh, this could be interesting. This could be something different. And we guess we'll find out because it's kind of snuck up a little bit over time, which is cool.
It really has.
But anyway, Jem, that does bring us to the end of SmackDown. How did you think it went this week?
I was pretty happy with SmackDown overall. I think having the whole Sonya Mandy Otis Dolph thing dominate the whole match and seeing them in the main event of it as well, I think it really just brought it all together. I don't know. I think I'd call it sort of straight down the middle and give it a Kurt.
I'd feel the same. Once again, it was that nothing was amazing. Nothing really stood. There were some good stuff in there, but kind of nothing sort of really took over it. So yeah, I'd give it a Kurt as well. Probably curtain a little bit. I didn't hate it, but I still enjoyed it nonetheless.
Yeah.
But let us know what you thought of this week's episode of SmackDown in the chat, because right now we are about to head into discussions around Monday. Nathan in the chat asks, can you still review shows with a Kurt? Yes, we can.
Yes.
The Kurt may be fired. He may be let go. He may be retired. Or he was retired. But we gave the Kurt after he was retired. So I'm still cool with it. It's a legacy.
Yeah, definitely.
He is a legacy of this show and of wrestling.
Of WWE.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so overall it's pretty cool. Because we still have one more SmackDown before Money in the Bank, so there's still enough little things to happen before then. But we do have to talk about Raw and the Go Home show.
The Go Home Raw.
What?
I said the Go Home Raw.
You're being gross.
I'm being very gross.
Awesome.
Pop culture is after dark.
That's right.
It's just us sitting here going bounce.
Yes, it's just saying mildly inappropriate things.
No, and just making porn groove noises.
Yeah, not a whole lot really.
There will be talks about tits and butts.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Most likely mine.
Guaranteed. I could talk about mine, but mine is going away, and that's uneventful. People don't want to talk about boobs going away, and they want to keep them around. Anyway,
let's get Raw.
Speaking of going away and coming around, Raw happened this week. Speaking of boobs that went away, Jerry the King Lawler's still gone. Samoa Joe's still around. He's still here on commentary.
Oh, he was so excited. I didn't know. So when I saw Joe, I was hyped because I love Joe on commentary. We know I love Joe on commentary. So I was just like, yes. One thing I didn't like, though, is it opened with a fucking video package.
Yeah.
I'm sick to death of video package. We thought we were done with the video package opening, but no, video package opening.
It's been a little while since we had video package opening, though.
But yeah. Yeah, so...
You lost your spot, didn't you?
Last and start with... Yeah, I was going to say best place to start is with the start of the show, which did open with a VIP lounge with MVP.
Yeah, which once again, I still don't understand the appeal of MVP. So there's that. Hang on. Before we jump in, Champion in the chat has mentioned that Jerry might be gone for his comment. I presume this is the comment about Tozawa. But even then, that was, 2 weeks ago? And then last week, although he wasn't on commentary, he was there. He was with the contract signing? Or he was there in some capacity last week in my brain. I completely forgot why he was there. But he was there for some sort of meeting
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. He is a racist, sexist fucking piece of shit who should not be employed in that industry. And I had some guy have a go at me on Twitter about it a couple weeks back, and I said to him straight out, I go, this is an ongoing theme for his entire life. Just because he's been doing it forever doesn't mean it's okay.
Correct.
It does not mean it's okay. Like, Vince McMahon needs to understand that times are a lot different now, and comments like that will get somebody crucified.
Yeah.
And you will lose business over it.
And I do think with there being no crowd and there's therefore more focus on what is being said. Also, thank you very much for the 100 biddies there from Nathan. All these lovely noises and dinging in my head. It's awesome. But yeah, so like with him saying that stuff and then it's not being drowned out by the crowd. Like, it's clear as day. Everyone's like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it is about time for him to go away. Champ adds, Jerry is an old school heel. He comes from a generation where a lot of the commentary he gave was designed to get heat, but times are different now. So that's very true. But this is not that right amount of heat. You know what I mean?
This is literally just digging your own grave.
Yeah, and it's just demonstrating, like, if anything, it's good. It means that Paul Heyman, who, you know, we know is kind of running Raw right now, or Vince have finally understood. They're like, oh yeah, this backlash is not worth it. Like, they need to find reasons for people not to be detracted right now. You know what I mean? So, like, there's already enough reasons for people not to tune in, so you don't put him in there. Because, like, this, you know, on the best of times, we would turn on and be like, ugh. You know, we'd almost not watch because of that fucking moron. So
didn't want to listen to him.
Yeah, I'm glad he's not there, which is good.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, VIP Lounge. We have obviously there was a big blow up last week between Asuka, Nia Jax, and Shayna Baszler. So MVP's there to moderate the situation. And he's asks everybody sort of why they think that they're going to win this Money in the Bank money match. Money in the Bank ladder match.
I said the same thing earlier. It's all good.
I know you did. And I stuck in my brain. But yeah, so obviously Asuka just goes ham speaking Asian, like Japanese specifically.
Just some Asian language.
She's speaking Japanese and just carrying on, and MVP's just acting like he knows what she's saying. And then he speaks to Shayna Baszler last because, you know, I don't want to talk about Nia Jax because she doesn't matter. Because she's just like, I'm destructive and the only skills I have are beating my opponent.
Look, I'm just going to put it out there. At least she's self-aware enough on... Dash in the chat goes, quote, racist piece of shit, shortly followed by some Asian language. Jem.
I didn't say something. I said she was speaking Asian and specifically Japanese because my brain just sticked out. At least I corrected myself.
That's true. Jem the King Lawler, you all right?
Yep, Jemmy the King Lawler.
Look, as I said, but in terms of Nia Jax, though, we know, you know, it's common knowledge, we're not fans. She did do something on brand, though, this week, which I really loved. So there's a clip when she comes down the MVP lounge, she pushes the rope thingy out of the way. So on Twitter, she tweets her pushing that thing. It's like a 3-second clip, but the tweet with it was rope got hurt, out for 4 to 6 weeks. I'm like, it's mixed emotions because fuck you, but it's good.
Yeah, that's great. That is actually really good. Proud of that. But yeah, so Shayna says something and she goes, "Isn't that right, Asuka?" And just stares.
Well, yeah, so she says along the lines of something about comprende non verba or some shit. Some Latin for, actions speak louder than words, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, sort of discussing around the idea that everyone else in this ring is happy to run their mouth, but I will go in there and demonstrate why I win that case.
And then to prove it, Asuka and Shayna both get face to face and then turn around and boot Nia Jax off a chair.
They just yeet the shit out of her. They're like, yeah.
Yeah, they just turn around and bam, and she's just down and out. And I was like, oh shit, that was great.
I enjoyed that thoroughly.
That was a really good, And then, MVP just sort of breaks it all up, and that's the end of that. But that was really funny. The end of that, it started off really slow, and I was like, oh, here we go. And then they just boot Nia Jax out the ring, and I was like, hey.
Look, I'm just going to put it out there. Is there a reason that we still have these segments, like A Moment of Bliss, or Miz TV's kind of gone away now, or MVP's VIP Lounge, or The King's Court? Why the fuck do we have all this shit?
Well, now, back in the day, I don't remember, but now I'm finding more and more because we don't have a crowd it doesn't land the way it used to.
Yeah.
Back in the day, like with a crowd around, it really lands because you're getting people face to face and they've got a mediator and, people are like pushing for them to fight and they're trying to keep it, together because there's somebody there stopping them. Now, because there's no crowd around, I don't think it's needed because that back and forth and that crowd engagement that comes from those shows is not there.
Yeah, because it's
the whole idea of like the Alan show or Jerry Springer. Like you need that live audience there to make the show. If there's no live audience, it's not a show. Like when Jerry, for instance, when Jerry Springer used to do like the recap shows and he was just sitting in his studio alone, like it doesn't really land.
That's true. Like it's like Jerry. Well, what was Jerry Springer? You watched it because if you want to see some people punch each other. Maury, you want to find out,
and the
that
crowd
he's
was
not the father.
encouraging it.
Yeah,
exactly it. And without a crowd there, there's no encouragement, and it really just doesn't land. And that's where these shows are falling flat.
That's true. Just like the Allen show, the Allen show would improve if there were more fist fights. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly it. Yeah, if they had a wrestling match,
bunch of like middle-aged women just like going to town on each other. And Alan.
Yeah.
In the chat, Champion Gamer jumps in and goes, "Oh, I can explain. Since it's quote an entertainment thing, a lot more of these segments are really good at character building based on promos and etc. It's kind of used to hype up a match, a star, or further a storyline. Piper's Pit, Bruce's Barbershop, King's Court." Yes, however, I kind of feel that they are old. Like, they are old things. Like, AEW, as an example right now, they don't do these little segments, and they kind of still deliver the same amount of storytelling and killer promos. Like, it doesn't need to be set up in this dumb setup, right? Like, why can't it...
Sorry, my chair just shit itself.
Oh, no, did you break your watermelon?
Nah, it's all good.
But you know what I mean? Like, why it just seems so old hat. You are. Oh, there you go. Okay, cool. I'm like, wow, you're right. You don't drop down.
Sorry, I was just bobbing down.
Mad Dog. Mad Dog's here in the chat too. But yeah, like that's my big problem with it. Yeah, is it just seems so old, and like they've not really tried to do anything to improve it. Like in the same way of like the Dirt Sheet, like that felt nostalgic for those that cared. Because apparently it's like it was back in the day. But they're not now. Champ adds that they are old, but they are still effective in some way. Yeah, getting me mad. But remember the Miz getting going shoot on Daniel Bryan. That was fantastic. That was fantastic.
That was good.
But that wasn't a in middle segment. That was like at a panel. And like a different show, or if I remember right, like it wasn't like a King's Court, here's this and that. Like that didn't happen. It was like, if I remember right, they were sitting at like a panel. Renee Young was there and someone else. Yeah,
it was backstage or something like that.
Well, not backstage, but it was like whatever backstage was back then. Talking Smack. Thank you, Dash.
That's it, Talking Smack.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And like those ideas are cool. Like WWE Backstage, fucking great idea. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same way that, once again, using AEW as the example, like, Being the Elite does exactly that. It does these things in a cooler and better setting. Big thank you for the Malcho for his Tier 1 resub for 26 months.
Damn.
And he resubbed only because Jem was back.
Oh, hi. Thank you.
It's one of those things that's tough. It should go away, or it should be adapted to be more current in some way. I don't know what it is. Like an example would be like Mustafa Ali does those cool little promo vids and stuff, and I believe they're effective. Do some more stuff like that. Speaking of, whatever fucking happened to Hackman?
Yeah, right.
That's gone quiet for the last couple of weeks. Where's he at?
Yeah, that's true.
Goddamn Hackman. Next up, we did have that Money in the Bank qualifying match we did mention before. As we said, Apollo Crews was out injured at the hands of Andrade last week. So here we see it's a gauntlet match.
Big old gauntlet match, which I was not I was expecting thanks to SmackDown, but it was awesome.
It was a cool idea. So yeah, it was just a bunch of people coming together. Kicked off with
knocked over my water.
Oh, no, it was like a big watery mess.
Yeah, this should be right.
Want me to keep chatting while you go and get a towel or something?
Oh no, that's all good.
Is it carpet or floorboards?
Carpet.
Oh, that's somehow worse.
Yeah.
You sure you don't want to get some water?
Nah, should be right. Nah, she'll dry. It's not too bad.
Kicked off Bobby Lashley, but Lana was forced to stay backstage because she's too attractive for the side of the ring or whatever the fuck.
Something. Who knows? But yeah, so like this was a big ass portion.
Yeah, I'll let you run through this. I talk all the time.
It was a long match. So yeah, it's first obviously Bobby Lashley against Titus O'Neil. Cleans Titus up nice and quick. Then second is Akira Tozawa. And again, cleans up Akira Tozawa really quickly. Third, then we have Shelton Benjamin, which I was not expecting. And Shelton Benjamin did give Bobby Lashley a run for his money. I'll give him credit. But ultimately, he did meet his demise. And fourth came out Humberto Carrillo. Now, Humberto Carrillo, obviously Bobby Lashley would be tired at this point. He really did give Bobby Lashley a run for his money. But because Bobby Lashley touched the referee, he got disqualified.
Suck it!
And he, cracked the shits and absolutely, like, hammered into Humberto Carrillo. And then the next person in the gauntlet match came out, which conveniently happened to be Angel Garza. And him and Zelina come down laughing and pointing and making fun of Humberto Carrillo, but Humberto does end up besting him. And Zelina can't believe it. And then Austin Theory's music hits and she starts calling Austin Theory down. She doesn't leave ringside because why would she? And Austin Theory proceeds to get to his ass handed to him by Humberto Carrillo. Both times was a sneaky roll-up, which was annoying. Like, you'd think by now they'd be able to, like, not. But what can you do? And then finally, was not expecting this.
Back from the dead. Buried alive. No more. The phenomenal.
Unburied, but still alive.
AJ Styles.
They don't want none. They don't want none. Yeah. I was like, shit. No way. I was so hyped for this. And he comes out and he absolutely tears Humberto Carrillo apart and gets the win to get the last spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And what I loved about this is afterwards he cuts a promo in ring. And he basically was like, yeah, I got buried alive. So what? And it's just like, and he just leaves it at that.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
I had a match.
Yeah.
Fuck you, do about it.
Got buried, so what? But basically he's like, you know, I'm going to win by throwing Aleister Black and Rey Mysterio off the rooftop.
And I don't know about you. I went, oh, I can't wait to see that happen.
I mean, yeah, if he's just got buried alive, I don't think he has anything else to live for.
Well, his friends are dead. They don't even work there anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, what else got to do?
Exactly.
Take it out on, maybe one, now that he took on the Phenom, maybe he can then take on, like Aleister Black.
Maybe.
Sort of like other mystical characters.
But yeah, you can tell he's back with a vengeance. And sort of later in the night, Aleister Black cuts a promo and Aleister Black's like, I heard what you said, AJ. And, if buried alive didn't, it didn't make you
humble.
afraid.
Didn't
like,
make you humble, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to make you wish that you were still buried alive and stuff like that. Because what I'm going to do to you is worse, basically. And then Rey Mysterio cuts a promo as well. And he basically just says, the risk is worth the reward. And whatever else. I didn't really listen to it. Because let's be honest, like, Rey's just in the match for the sake of, for theatrics. We know that he's only in the match because he can do some cool shit. I don't think there's any opportunity of him winning, and I feel terrible saying it, but because I just don't really care what he has to say.
Because in his promo, he talked about once again being like, like I look at my career and I realize that there's less time ahead of me than there was behind me, and I'm like, you're gonna fuck retire again, lame boo.
Yeah.
However, onto that the gauntlet match, I want to touch on that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really liked what they did. No randos.
Yeah.
No jobbers. It was like a lot of lower mid-card people, and that's exactly what should be done. Yeah. When this comes to gauntlet matches like this, when it comes to sort of even just random peeps, that's how it should be done. Like, it should be not here's rando person, here is Shelton Benjamin. Here is
somebody we haven't seen.
Someone we haven't seen in a little while. Like, that way you know who they are. So when they do get beat, you're like, oh no, well fuck, that sucks. Yeah. Also, Max in the chat goes, holy shit, Jem's back. Man, everyone.
Hi, I am.
Everyone's way more stoked on you than they are on me, apparently. Understandably, but still hurts. but also not really. Everyone loves you, Jem. And then, but Nathan goes, "Wait, who's Jem?"
Yeah. Oh, that bitch.
Yeah, that bitch. But no, like the gauntlet match was done really, really well in terms of having the people in there.
And you know what? I loved it taking up a large chunk of the show too, because that's what we watch wrestling for. Wrestling. Like, it's not just the storylines, but in that whole thing, they're still telling storylines in it. Like, this pissed me off immensely, but during the Angel Garza Humberto Carrillo segment, they did have Bobby Lashley and Lana backstage, and like Lana's like, "You should have let me come out there. I could have helped you." And he's like, "Look, not now, bitch." Basically, he didn't say that, but he's like, "Not now," and storms off. So like, there's storytelling going on in it as well, which is really, really freaking cool, because you could see Bobby Lashley was frustrated, so he's like obviously fighting through his frustration, so he doesn't take him out on his new wife. So yeah, it was executed perfectly, and I think the length of it was beautiful as well, being a gauntlet match. You know, you don't want to see people just chewing through people quickly like Brock Lesnar did at Royal Rumble. But no, I was really happy with it, and I was happy with the result as well. I was not expecting to see AJ Styles, and I'm hyped that we did.
Yeah, because now that we have the full lineup of both the women and the men, let's touch upon this now, Jem. How do you see this going down? Who do you think will take out the wins for the men and the women? Because as we learned this week, that they are being done at the same time.
Oh, I'm torn between the winner of the men's being...
Also, chat, let us know who you think's going to win too. Also, hey, Christian.
I think it's going to be pretty even balance between AJ Styles and Baron Corbin. I don't think any of our face types are going to get it. I definitely think it's going to go to either of those two. With the women's one, I'm really torn. I think it's going to be between Shayna and Asuka. And I honestly think that... I want Asuka to win it, but I know that Shayna will.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that Shayna will take the win here. For the women at least. Like, yeah, Nia Jax, no chance. She's there just to sort of like do a lot of big heavy lifting, similar to what Otis will do, I imagine.
Yeah.
Well, Asuka, I think, may be there to sort of help build up those additional feuds with Shayna as an example, because you saw a little bit of that here in the MVP thing. There's enough there to sort of like set up to create some build up, and you know, shout out to Raw for straight up burying the lead. They mentioned that, you know, in the next episode of Raw, Becky Lynch will confront the winner of Money in the Bank, which means whoever you know, it's someone from Raw. Like it's Nia, it's Asuka, or it's Shayna.
Shayna,
period.
Yeah.
So for that reason, it does make me think possibly that the winner of the men's Money in the Bank may be a Raw, so maybe a SmackDown men's competitor, because they can't have both briefcases on Raw. That'd be an interesting decision.
That's true. Then if we're going along that, then that would put Corbin in the win.
Yeah, I want Black to win personally, because I do think. I think
that would be so cool.
I think I like the idea of Black having that briefcase, because he could make that briefcase look fucking cool if they want to do something with it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah. But I do think it's probably going to be Baron Corbin, because they, you know, but I kind of don't want it to be. Who's the other man from SmackDown? So it's Otis.
We've got Otis
Corbin.
from SmackDown, Corbin, and Rey Mysterio. No,
Ray's Raw.
Ray's Raw, because it's Ray, AJ, and Alistair. Why
am I brain fighting so hard?
Yeah, same. Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan would be cool. I'd like Daniel Bryan to take it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Like I said, when I was thinking about it, well, like now that I think back to what I said earlier, I definitely think it might be a case of Baron Corbin wins it and plays the whole, hey, you guys are really good at picking faults, can you help me out? And then absolutely buries them to get the title.
It's not cool. It's not cool, because that does take into account, like, because the way we have to look at this, Jem, is we have to look at whoever wins here will be then taking on either Braun Strowman or or Bray Wyatt, or Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. Pardon me. If Bray Wyatt wins, none of the SmackDown men here would be even in with a shot. If Braun wins, Daniel Bryan could get involved because Daniel Bryan had affiliation with the Wyatt family as well, so I guess he could sort of kind of fit with both. But we've also seen Daniel Bryan and the Fiend before in that strap match.
Yes.
Rey Mysterio's got fucking no chance. Period. If we look at the Raw side of things, we have to see whoever gets the win out of Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. And if Seth Rollins does get the win, he's not losing that belt anytime soon.
No. But
Drew McIntyre should also not lose the belt anytime soon.
Yeah, exactly. It's tricky.
So I do think your theory is pretty spot on that it will likely be King Corbin, and then he'll probably just lose it again.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious.
That would be so awesome. Funny. Like that would be just that would be that right amount of fan servicey payback that I think actually may work in WWE's favor.
Yeah, it's funny you did say that, because speaking of fan service, up next we had Aussies. Yay! Fan favourites. Oops, I'm falling over. We had Shane Thorne and Brendan Vink. So they're backstage and MVP just sort of slides in.
What does he do?
Slides in. And he does call them two of Australia's finest, which I was like, damn right they are. Anyway... and starts giving them this big old speech, and then Shane Thorne's like, isn't that the speech from Miracle? And MVP's like, that's right! There's a reason I knew I liked you guys, and yada, yada, yada. Anyway, this brings us into a match of Shane Thorne and Brendan Vink versus the new tag team of Ricochet and Cedric Alexander.
Man, like the comment that I made last week about, like, I'm pretty sure they're just putting Aussies in these shows in order to not have their visas expire, and I think I've just made prove their points today.
Yeah.
Like, watching Raw, like,
But yeah.
No complaints.
This was really interesting because it was a really good match. Like, all four of them are amazing competitors. But Vink and Thorne walked out with the win here.
I was really unsurprised by that, by the way.
I was not expecting that. I was really shocked by that, to be honest with you. But because I go back and I watch like things like ups and downs and stuff like that from What Culture, and in watching that, the very valid point was made that, you know, when you're trying to build people up, unfortunately, you do somebody has to take the L. Like, you know, they're trying to build up two tag teams in this match. Somebody has to take the L, and with this one, like Ricochet and Cedric Alexander looked stronger in defeat than they would have.
They did. They looked really good. There were a couple of great spots that I really enjoyed. It was kind of like the Irish whip-assisted sort of. Who was it? Who was in the corner? I think it may have been Thorne was in the corner. So Ricochet whips Cedric into the corner, goes for like a sort of a double. I think maybe like a double knee, and then as he drops, in comes Ricochet with the fly kick. Then then Cedric gets right up, grabs him, a springboard tornado DDT. Looked fucking tremendous, like absolutely tremendous. Fuck, I love a good DDT so much.
Yeah, no, they absolutely smashed it, and they definitely did look stronger in defeat than with the win. So yeah, that was really cool. It's a really good way to build up Thorne and Vink as well. And seeing them sort of buddy with MVP makes for an interesting thing too. Like, is MVP going to start management? Like, who knows?
Well, yeah, they hinted pretty heavily that under the management of MVP, blah blah blah, which I understand why, because MVP needs to justify why he's there. But like in terms of their delivery, like what I really enjoyed is they themselves have that more natural Aussie accent, you know, where like the Iconics hammered up, so they get a bit more of that bogany sound. Where Buddy Murphy is kind of there, but he has a little bit of twang to it. Where these guys just down the line Aussie accents, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Now, an example is Dash. So Dash had a discussion on Twitter actually about about time that I think it may have been Shane was a member of MCW, where Dash was just sitting in the crowd and just yelled directly at him one day. And he responded, and he's like, so in short, the story was along the lines of like, I told you to go do this and that, and sure enough, X amount of years later, here you are on my television on the biggest company in the world. It's very cool. It's very cool, like to sort of see that from like we saw that a couple of weeks ago with Indy Hartwell getting her shot on TV, and we've seen that.
And we were like, holy shit, we've seen her.
yeah, it's very very cool to see that happen, but. Mm-hmm. With a win here on main roster, quote unquote main roster, that pretty much implies that they're here now, right?
They are, yeah.
Awesome. Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Australia.
They 100% are. Yep, Australia. So yeah, next brought us into another tag team match, which was a non-title match with the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits.
One thing I loved here is they brought in the history between the Viking Raiders and the Street Profits. So
yes, I was going to mention that.
We discussed this a while back. Like, how come they haven't used the NXT storyline here? If NXT counts as canon, why haven't they touched upon it? And they did here. So like, the Viking Raiders and Street Profits have never like really. I don't think they really fought at NXT, or Street Profits never got the win. Street Profits did become tag title champions in NXT after the Viking Raiders. However, the Viking Raiders had to forfeit their titles when they went to main. So technically they never got defeated to lose their title. So I'm so happy that they brought that storyline into this.
Oh, yeah. So hyped about it. Because, like, for me, I didn't get to experience the NXT run with them. So this is, like, bringing that whole new thing to me on the main roster. And I was thinking about it, and I was just like, this is really awesome to... some people might be like, oh, history repeating. But for me, this is a brand new experience. And I loved it. And I was really excited to see it. And for the second show in a row, the champions lost. In a non-title match. And for me, it kind of makes me think, like, with champions losing in non-title matches, is it that they're lazy because they're not fighting for their titles? Or is it because the other team are hungrier to get that title?
Yeah, I think probably a little bit of complacency mixed with a little bit of that complacency mixed with the hunger, and touching upon what Champion said before about it happens all the time. That's certainly true, it does. But yeah, in terms of because as we do here, we focus on the storyline and the characters and how they would behave and like what their thinking processes would be in terms of their character. I think that's pretty much it. So like there is that, like you see that confidence, you see that, I wouldn't say almost smugness in the likes of Dawkins and Ford. So it would make sense for them to come out being like, yeah, we were champions there, we're champions there. Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah, but that did lead into like a post-match interview with the Viking Raiders, who claim that they have distinguished what the smoke is and they won because they were able to do that. They don't specify, they don't elaborate, but they've distinguished what it is. So this will be interesting to see. I definitely think they're bringing these two together for another feud, and I am all for it.
Yeah, I wouldn't surprise me if this becomes a title match for Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Which is probably how I expect it to go down. Which I wouldn't even be mad if that was to happen that way at all.
Yep.
Even though it would be double days for each other. Oh my god.
Yeah. But then the next thing really sort of like I didn't understand, because we had Charlotte Flair. She's the NXT Women's Champion. Like, stay on NXT. Your title doesn't mean anything on Raw. But no, she had to come and talk about Io Shirai and what's going on next. And I know the whole idea is to pump up NXT. But for me, it was like, no, go back to your show. You're not welcome here anymore. You belong over there. Go. Bye. Out. See you later. You don't even go here anymore.
She doesn't go here.
She just has a lot of emotions, okay? But yeah, basically,
we
she talks about
done so many Mean Girls references tonight. It's been awesome.
I love it. It is a Wednesday, and on Wednesdays we wear pink. That's and I'm not wearing pink. How rude! My skin's pink. I have pink tattoos.
I got nothing.
The square behind you is pink. Anyway, so she comes out basically talking about the whole thing with Io Shirai. She mentions that Io did say, that she's my dream opponent, which gave Charlotte a bit of a big head. And as Charlotte's babbling, Liv Morgan comes out and she's like, hey, Char, remember me? And Charlotte's like, and she's like, yeah, very funny. And she comes out and she's basically like, some of us weren't born with a silver spoon up our in our mouth like you were, which I thought was great. That little catch of the tongue was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Which Charlotte retorts to that saying, I'm damn proud I have a silver spoon in my mouth. And I was like, you own that shit, Charlotte. Damn right. I would too. And yeah, it ends up proceeding that they have a match, which wasn't bad considering Liv Morgan basically got squashed the whole match. She did have a little bit of flurry in her towards the end. But to
add to that, this is what we were discussing about before, about losing to a champion and still looking good.
Mm-hmm. She looked amazing in defeat.
Because right now, aside from 2 matches against 2 big contenders like Asuka and Charlotte Flair, Liv has had a successful, a good win on almost everybody else. Aside from 2 big hitters in the women's division, she has cleaned house. She's cleaned house on Ruby Riott. Ruby Riott's return was a fucking loss to Liv Morgan.
Yeah. One thing I did love about Liv as well is she didn't sort of fluff the specifics either. She's not like, I'm going to be champion next. She's like, I'm going to be champion one day, which I love that she's got that realistic goal in mind.
Because her new angle seems to be sort of this millennial who's just trying to discover herself. Which I'm like, okay.
Charlotte does call out.
Interesting move.
You don't know who you are. And yeah, Charlotte's like, I know who I am. You don't know who you are. And she's like, and that's fine. I know that I can kick ass and, I took out Ruby Riott. And if I have to dethrone a queen, I will.
That's right. She's like, look, there's a couple of things that I know as being Liv Morgan. One is I know how to kick butt. And 2, I know how to look like a sexy Edward Scissorhands every week. And yeah, she's
doing great.
No one's complaining.
Yeah.
Both those options.
I did notice her hair. Her hair was a little pink again, which has me thinking.
Oh.
Did notice, it wasn't as stark white as it has been. It was actually tinted pink. So
okay. I don't see there being a return to the of old, but I see where you're coming from.
Neither do I, but subtleties. It's just the subtleties. It wasn't as bright or as crazy. It was just a very subtle sort of rosy sort of goldy pink.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
But so match did kick in, referee comes out. And I'm just going to have to comment on this right now. I don't remember this ref's name, or whatever his fucking ref is. If I hear him being like, come on, Charlotte, come on, you ain't doing, come on. I never want to hear that fucking expression ever again. I think that's the only thing that he's capable of saying.
Probably.
It's not as if, man, all right, Charlotte, get away from the corner. And it's like, come on, Charlotte, you know better. Come on, get out of the corner. Come on. I'm like, dude, man, expand your vocabulary, mate.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Sorry, just stretching.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Are you on your knees right now?
Yes.
Did you bust your chair that hard?
No, I didn't bust it. I just spilt water all over it. So yeah, I'm just doing a little mini workout while
That's
I'm
right. On the knees, clench the tuchus and the thighs.
Clench the buttocks and relax, and then clench it. Just getting ready for my walk later.
What's that scary movie too? I clench it, I hold it tight, I let it go.
Yeah, let it loose. Yeah, but speaking of looking fit as shit like I'm trying to do, Drew McIntyre.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like Ryan Betts, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck yeah. Or Bat Prince in the chat. He also looks fucking fantastic. Just put it out there.
Yeah, he does. But yeah, I'll let you roll with this one if you'd like to.
Yeah, man, go.
So I've been talking all night.
No, go to fucking town. No one gives a fuck about Ryan this week. I love Ryan. It's the Jem train, and we are all happy about it.
I would not be here without you. So thank you so much. I owe you everything. So they owe you everything.
It is the Jem. No, the Jem train sounds way accidentally sexy than I intended. So it is. Fuck
the Jem Express.
The Jem Express.
Because the Jem Express. Because I come in shorter intervals. I don't know.
Oh,
that got weird. Yeah. Anyway, Drew McIntyre.
All right, keep chatting, Jem. It's the Jem time. Jem o'clock.
So yeah, to start off this whole ordeal, we do have Seth Rollins in the ring for an interview with Charlie Caruso, talking about how, look, this is something that most people hate. It's like he cut the same promo as last week, which generally I do, but I'm starting to realize the same promo is consistency. He's being consistent in what he's saying. He's backing up his word. He's solidifying them by saying the same thing. So I wasn't as mad about it. I think it was just like, oh, what a crappy little... We've seen this, like, he could have done that backstage and not in the ring type thing. And Charlie asks him about his last minute predictions for the match. And he's like, I have faith in Murphy. And yeah, basically leaves it at that. And then later on, Murphy is interviewed and he's like, again by Charlie. And she's basically like, why are you one of Seth's disciples? And she's like, he goes, Seth, he took me when I was down and out and he brought me under his wing and he made me realize I'm on his level and I may even surpass him one day. And even Seth said the same thing. And then later we get an interview with Drew again. So this is throughout the show. And Charlie's like, what do you think about what Murphy had to say about what Seth had to say? And Drew's just like, oof, I think I kicked that bloke in the head a little bit too hard last week because he's basically says he's delusional. Like, that's not going to happen. Basically the same old, like, I'm going to kill, crush, destroy. And that brings us into the final match. So Murphy comes out, Seth Rollins comes out and stays on the stage just watching, clearly studying what was going on, while Drew McIntyre has his match against Murphy, which was a great match. Like, Murphy is just... I can't get over how good he is. Oh, speaking of, one thing I did notice is when Drew McIntyre was having his interview, he did deliberately call him Buddy Murphy.
Oh, and the
which I
full
thought was
name.
Great. Yeah, he called him Buddy Murphy, and you could tell he did it deliberately because there was a smirk on his face, and it was just perfect. It was the most perfect thing I've seen. But yeah, like, absolutely, like, killer match. These two are great. Seth is just watching on, no interruptions with Seth, which was awesome as well. And yeah, Buddy sort of, he gets into a position where he looks like he's about to do the Claymore kick. He does the count and everything. And before he can even get halfway through the ring, Drew McIntyre meets him with his own. And 1, 2, 3, and he's done. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant that he can, like, he just pick that up so quickly. I am getting more and more hyped for Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins. Initially, I wasn't really that into it. And now I am. Because, like I said, it looks like Seth was standing there studying this match. So it really goes to show sort of what kind of, like, a technical perspective he's coming from. So I'm actually really excited to see how this is going to go down.
Me too. So, like, the best thing about Seth's character right now with the Monday Night Messiah. Also, big thank you to Off-Brand Lego Nathan for giving us a follow earlier. Much appreciated.
Oh, thank you.
The big thing here is he can take the L and be like, and I sacrifice, I'm the martyr, I was crucified in order to prove a point here.
I'm paving the way.
Yeah.
I'm paving the way for the likes of Murphy or the AOP or whoever it may be.
That's right. And I like that because, like, so as Champion in the chat mentions about the potential feud between Seth Rollins and Murphy, because there will be that moment of, like, you're a heretic, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, yeah, exactly. And that part of super in for, super there.
Yeah.
I think that'll be
I'm
awesome.
excited for all of it. There's some really cool story that's going to come out of this whole thing, and I can't wait.
Yeah. There's a lot here. So, like, yeah. It was great to see, like, a third Aussie on our screens this week.
Oh, right.
Which is
Killing
fantastic. Oh, and by the way, we'll mention this as well. For one thing we will mention is that, as we all know, WWE Live was meant to be coming here in August.
Has been postponed.
That has since been postponed to July of next year, 2021. If you have tickets, they hold them. They're still valid. So we'll be keeping ours. And also, if you still hold on to your tickets, you can go into draw to win a meet and greet. So there's that too. So that's the connection back to Australia. Devastated. I'm devastated, but I'm also like, there's no United States about to literally shit the bed. So there's no chance people are coming in from America anytime soon.
Yeah, no chance in hell. Yeah.
Let alone that many people getting in the venue anytime soon.
Yeah. But that was the end of Raw.
Yeah, that was the end of Raw. Now, if I go back to the beginning of the night here, there was a comment from Christian that I did say I would get back to. So I'm sometimes a man of my word. But how did you think of the show, Jem? How did you think it went?
Look, it wasn't too bad either. I was pretty happy. I reckon I'd call it down the line probably the same and give it like a Kurt or a Kurt and a bit.
Yeah, I'd agree. I did enjoy most of it. Like, down the line's probably a good Kurt. Nothing. I didn't really hate anything about it. There were some good strength in there. There was a lot of good use of sort of old stories as well, which I like. And so it wasn't Chris. It was Noob and Co. Noob and Co adds this week's Raw was a total mess. However, the highlight of the week was Asuka singing Nia Jax's theme song and Shayna Baszler being stone faced. And saying this anime girl really knows how to sing.
I forgot about that. Oh, that was so good.
Apparently, one of us said hairy dick before. Sounds
really no.
Sounds like us.
No.
Like I'm not saying we didn't, but I don't remember the context.
No.
Who knows?
Well,
but anyways, that does bring us to the end of the show. Thank you everyone for joining us once again.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome back. I was only gone a week and a little.
That's what I'm saying, man. People fucking noticed. They need the gem in their life.
They do.
And when there is no gem, even for a short window of time, everyone gets fucking sad.
Yeah, that's so sad. You guys are the sweetest. I love you very much. Thank you.
So in the chat...
You make a sad girl feel happy.
Nathan's like, don't go. Please don't go. He's singing to you in the chat. He's serenading you. He just gave you 100 biddies to hang around. He's... Lots of love for Jem. All the love for Jem. Dad Bod jumps in and goes, amazing show, you two. Fuck yeah, we did. We always do an amazing show here at The Young and the Wrestlers. Always. And it's even better when fucking Jem's here, right? That's what I'm saying.
You guys are the sweetest. I love you so much. Thank you for making a sad girl happy.
Least we can do. Two of his favourites, says Dad Bod. That's right.
Aw, stop. You really are Australia's sweetheart. We adore you.
That is true. Dad Bod is, in fact, Australia's sweetheart.
He's definitely earned the Australia's sweetheart
That's
title.
True. But anyway, man, Money in the Bank. It's so close. It's like right there. Oh, hang on. Nathan in the chat.
Ooh.
Oh, that's right. So Nathan sent me a little message through Facebook, a little voice message. I don't know how this is going to go, but he's requesting that I play it before we go. So I'm going to play it.
What?
I don't know what that was, but because it's a little bit distorted. It sounds like it's fangirling in some way about something. Like you fangirled so hard, all distorted. Like maybe it's a very pro Jem, scream. Like as if Jem was the Beatles, the Jemeatles. No? Oh my god, it's Jem! Oh,
it's Jem Ghost Up.
Paul McCart Jem.
I am
Fantastic.
so glad that you think my horrible jokes are hilarious.
Hey man, it's part of my week. Try it again. Has he sent another one that's not so loud? Yeah, he has. Here we go. Let's try again. And then we'll wrap this bad boy up.
Oh my god, it's Ryan. Oh, that's cute.
Oh, thanks, man.
Aww. That's how I feel about
special.
Ryan. He's one of my fave human beings. I'm very lucky to have been introduced to you.
Some say disadvantage, but that's cool.
No, without you, we wouldn't be this. So.
That's very true. It's very, very true. The show wouldn't be the same. I probably wouldn't even have done it.
Yeah.
Anyways, this has been the Young and the Wrestlers Super Show. It's been our Raw and Smack. Yes, buddy. Oh, sorry. I have to open my son's Frodo Frog for him.
Aww. I want a Freddo Frog. Rude.
There you go, buddy. And you leave me the rubbish. That's very kind of you. This has been our Young and the Restless Super Show Extravaganza, where we have combined the Raw and the SmackDown. We brought it together in one big show, and it came at you this Thursday at 8 a.m. on your podcast services, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join that wrestling conversation, head over to Facebook, Twitter, Discord, Instagram. All those links are in the down below area. If you enjoyed the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopculture, where you can join the likes of The Mullet Show, Bat Prince, Nathan, Champion, Josh, Christian, Noob. Tons of people come around to party tonight. It was absolutely awesome. And Dash was there too. I just assumed Dash is always there, so I forgot to mention him. But everyone is there. It's been an absolute blast here on Twitch tonight. And I hope you can all come and join us more and more. One thing we'd like you to do, if you'd be so kind, we share the conversations. Tell your friends, tell your family about this little wrestling pod. It's fantastic for those to come and watch. But go download the show on your podcast services. Go to YouTube, give it a watch, give it a thumb up on the YouTubes. That would be great, because all those little things help us get out there, get a bit more known, get more ears on the show. So that makes the live shows even more fun, because there's more awesome people joining us and having a chat. Yeah. We understand it's tough times right now, but if you do want to support the show, you can over at patreon.com/thepopculturist, as well as our merchandise store, popculturist.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. Thank you so much, Jem, for coming back. We missed you. It's good to see your face again.
Thank you so much to the Super Show host, Mr. Ryan Betson, for putting this on.
No worries. We do it oh my God, me! Yeah, we'll do it twice a week, guaranteed. Fucking guaranteed. But anyway, until either SmackDown, we might just skip SmackDown and go straight to fucking Money in the Bank next week. But until then, I'm Ryan Betson.
And I'm Jem.
And we'll see you next week.
Good night.
The Young and the Restless, the Pop Culturist WWE podcast, is fan support over at Patreon at patreon.com/thepopculturist. And we'd like to thank our Patreon producers and our Patreon founders for their kindness, their support, and their generosity. Our Patreon founders: Alpha Ferret, Craig O'Flaherty, David Chataway, Jesse Stevenson, and Jacob Garner. And our Patreon producers: AJ Abatomi, Damian Holdies, Kyle Dunn, Lee Wintershoven, Nathan Massetti, Paul James, Pure Mongrel, and Sean Levitt.